Everyone knows Penguinz0 as the humble guy with long hair who talks about internet drama in a down-to-earth manner. In his almost 17-year-long YouTube career, there hasn't been a single time he's gotten himself into a big controversy. Well, that was until May 19 of 2023 when he uploaded a video going over an apology from fellow creator iDubbbz. The video got so many negative comments and feedback that he was forced to make a response only 7 hours after posting it. Unfortunately for him though, his response only made the situation worse and caused him to receive more hate than ever before. What events led up to this moment? Why was Moist critically criticized? And did this have a lasting impact on his reputation? The whole situation started with the release of this video on iDubbbz's channel where he apologized for the horrible things he'd done. Back in 2015 to 2017, he used to run a video series under the name Content Cop. In these videos, iDubbbz would criticize famous people who turned out to be terrible in real life. More or less, the people he spoke against generally deserved it because of the awful things they'd done. He brought up valid points and arguments against them while entertaining his viewers. However, he did so in a controversial way to say the least. To paint the picture, let's take a look at a particularly successful video he made on Keemstar. In classic Content Cop fashion, he screams the N-word only 12 seconds after starting the commentary. To top it all off, he ended the video by saying that Keem should end his own life. This type of behavior wasn't rare for him. He would casually use racial, homophobic, and transphobic slurs all the time with no regard for the consequences. In fact, his catchphrase was the N-word and the F slur strung together. It's generally agreed upon that iDubbbz himself was never racist, homophobic, or a bigot in any way. He simply used these words as a way to entertain his viewers and grow his subscriber count. Regardless of his intentions though, a huge portion of his audience were teenagers, and these kinds of videos made them think that it was okay to act this way and use these slurs in their life. During a particularly dark period, iDubbbz even encouraged his viewers to use bigoted slurs.
Yeah, Asian people didn't get their heads ran over in World War II. They weren't thrown into internment camps. But you can't say that one because it's got sort of it's guttural. Either all of them are okay or none of them are okay. It's either all okay or none of it's okay.
Despite his unhinged character, his videos gained hundreds of millions of views, and due to the insane size of his audience, iDubbbz had a profound impact on internet culture. But more importantly, he had a terrible impact on real-life culture. As you will soon see, many people were suffering from racism, largely due to iDubbbz normalizing harmful slurs among the youth. Fortunately, as time went along, he realized the severity of his hateful content, so he slowly started distancing himself from it. He stopped saying racial slurs and insulting people based on things they couldn't change. However, his past kept haunting him. 7 years later, on May 19, 2023, he made a video to get everything off his chest and finally apologized to the people he's hurt.
I am responsible for creating a lot of hurtful and damaging content on this channel, and I've also created a culture of apathy and I don't know, a lot of like cruelty as well. Like, you know, some of the videos I've made have been very not edgy. I don't think they some of these videos were edgy. I think they were just outright cruel. I have made some cruel, hurtful content, and I need to acknowledge that, and I'm really sorry that it's taken me this long to acknowledge it.
Later on, he also revealed that he would donate all ad revenue from the video to a charity.
I am running ads on this video, and any revenue generated from this video I'm going to match and donate to an organization that would have been particularly affected by the type of rhetoric that I've been spewing on this channel.
He also acknowledged that he won't be forgiven just because he made an apology video and that more work needs to be done.
I know that this apology isn't enough. I shouldn't be able to just make an apology video and walk away from it. This is something that I should live the rest of my life with.
Obviously, the video didn't have a smooth reception. Over his years of making that type of content, iDubbbz had built a large audience of genuinely racist people. It was this part of his audience that criticized him for changing his ways and demanded that he go back to making the kind of content that he used to make. Nonetheless, most people took the video in a more positive light. Although it had taken him a long time to make the apology, at least he did it unprompted. He didn't make an apology to satisfy some angry mob. No one was trying to cancel him. He did it because he knew it would get rid of the type of audience he doesn't want around anymore, and I get it. A lot of other creators shared their own take on this situation, with most of them siding with iDubbbz and commending him for taking responsibility. Overall, despite some downs, this video was largely called the best YouTuber apology ever. Never in a million years did I think it would be iDubbbz who set the gold standard for YouTube apologies, which is where Charlie comes into play. Unlike pretty much all other influencers who commented on this video, he seemed to think that iDubbbz's old content hadn't harmed any people at all. This was pure ignorance on his part, and due to it he said some things that really upset people.
But it's still, I think, a little ridiculous to make it seem like it was this big of a deal that it warranted a whole apology video in which he makes it seem like he'll never truly find forgiveness and he'll never forgive himself for it, for saying the slurs in the videos and making the content he did.
Basically, he thought
it's just not that big of a deal.
However, the vast majority of people didn't share that opinion. It's really easy to pretend there was no harm done when you weren't the one being harmed. Charlie spends 20 minutes explaining why someone using the N-word didn't hurt him personally. When I was in middle school, groups of white boys would chase me down the hall screaming the N-word because it would make me cry without fail. My parents and grandparents and great-grandmother would sit me down and tell me stories of slavery, bigotry, misogyny, rape, and dehumanization. That is what those words carry. I understand not all people realize this is what these words carry, so people are speaking out about it. That's what this is about. That is the harm that was facilitated. The ignorance and the weaponization of language under the guise of apathy. I don't mean to lecture, I'm just disappointed in this take. I understand that hatred wasn't Ian's intention, but it is nice he is willing to take responsibility. 2016 YouTube was awful for so many children of color, and there was an impact. It all feels so counterproductive to undermine Ian's apology and reflection. Him speaking on his turn to empathy is useful for people on the fence about things. It's just disappointing to see this video. A bunch of other creators reacted to his video, all criticizing him. Like all other drama, the discussion was taken to Twitter, and once again, the response was massively negative. Moist Critical, for the first time since his first YouTube upload on 6th of August 2007, was receiving overwhelming hate from all sides. So much so that only 7 hours later, he addressed the situation in a video titled Huge L Take. Sadly for his fans though, his opinion was unchanged. He said he did think it was good for iDubbbz to change his content, and that he never meant to shame iDubbbz for trying to separate himself from some of his bigoted fans, but he never addressed the most common criticism. The largest problem with his original video was that he wrote off iDubbbz's previous harmful content as just jokes and shock humor. And although Charlie acknowledged that some kids might have been influenced by iDubbbz's outrageous behavior, he still believed that no significant harm was done by them. Despite all the negative testimonials people shared, he still referred to the Content Cop series as just edginess. Obviously, this video only served to multiply the negative responses. I just don't see why it's a big deal, says man who was not affected by any part of the situation. The fact that he felt the need to make the first video is really telling, and doubling down after being rightfully criticized really says something. As a black male, I never thought he was racist, but he normalized hate speech within his community, whether it was intentional or not. I respect Charlie and respect his opinion on the matter, but unfortunately he lives in a reality that's different from most minorities. He will never fully understand how these slurs impact people. The fact that Moist Critical has only gotten himself into one big controversy despite having uploaded more than 5,000 videos goes to show the tremendous character that he exudes. But for this situation only, just hold the L, brother. You earned it.